Good morning and welcome. It's great to see a good turnout this morning for our League 101 presentation, and I welcome everyone today. We have the benefit of having an interpreter present, and I'll allow her to introduce herself.
Good morning, welcome. Bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Gabriela. Seré el intérprete para el día de hoy en la Liga de Votantes. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. My name is Victor Boleg, and I serve as the president of the League of Women Voters of Greater Tucson. We respectfully acknowledge that the League of Women Voters of Greater Tucson is on the land and territories of indigenous peoples. Today, Arizona is home to 22 federally recognized tribes, with Tucson being home to the Tohono and the Paskiyaki people. We'll begin with our program. I'll talk a little bit about the history of the League and give a short overview, and then we'll pass on to additional speakers. Okay, our first slide, has Carrie Chapman Catt. And Carrie Chapman Catt is very important to the League because she was the founder of the League. And as we look back, we see she also was instrumental in the 19th Amendment being enacted in creating the opportunity for women to be able to vote. The League was officially founded in 1920, just 6 months before the 19th Amendment was ratified, and women won the vote. It was formed by suffragists of the National American Women's Suffragette Association. And what's important is the right to vote was won, it wasn't given. And what that means is that there was a struggle to be able to give women the opportunity to vote. Women had to organize and demand the opportunity to be able to vote. This was not something that came easily. It came with struggle. It came with loss. And it's something that, is cherished today, but not just women, but all Americans. The League began as what we typify as a political experiment. It wasn't defined specifically whether or not it was going to be successful when the League of Women Voters was created. Would women actually unite? Would women actually join an organization and put forth the opportunity to be able to take action in the political system? Some of the things that were important that sort of jumped out to me with Carrie Chapman Catt was some items that I'll go ahead and mention. Well, one of the things that I came across was that Carrie Chapman Catt played a unique role in even the involvement of the League of Women Voters with the United Nations and the formation. And the League was one of the original organizations involved with the formation of the United Nations. Carrie Chapman Catt received a Bachelor of Science degree in General Science in 1880. She was the only woman in her class. Before working in the suffragette movement, Catt served as a teacher, principal, and superintendent in Iowa. So first of all, being the only woman in her class already creates an opportunity for leadership, perseverance, and struggle. Catt began her career as a political activist at the age of 27 when she joined the Iowa Women's Suffragette Association. When her husband died in 1885, Catt made a living by becoming San Francisco's first female newspaper reporter. Again, Carrie Chapman Catt was becoming the first for women in moving forward and taking leadership where women had not been given the opportunity before. Catt succeeded 80-year-old activist Susan B. Anthony as president of the National American Women Suffragette Association, the original predecessor of the League. Catt's relentless campaigning credited with helping win President Woodrow Wilson his respect and support, which ultimately led to the passage of the 19th Amendment. She was close friends with Eleanor Roosevelt, who was also a fellow League member. In her later years, Kat advocated on behalf of working women and tirelessly lobbied for world peace efforts. She supported efforts for both the League of Nations and the United Nations. And almost 90, after the creation and founding of the League, we hope that Kat's effort in have exceedingly been proud in the direction in which the League, has traveled and created as far as voter registration, having a nonpartisan perspective, and being able to move forward. One of the things we want to be able to look at is that for years, even though the League was involved with voter registration, activists, we weren't at the forefront of involving women of color. The League was not open to having women of color at the forefront, and then we look at various photos and passages, we see typically white women, and that's something that the League is very aware of and trying to correct past histories of not being inclusive and involving our DEI, position. When we look at the League of Women Voters of Tucson, it was founded in 1941. And some of the important individuals we see up there on our slideshow, first of all, are Catherine Maxwell. And Catherine Maxwell was the wife of Morgan Maxwell Sr. And Morgan Maxwell was the principal of the Dunbar School, which was the historical African American school in Tucson, which was then integrated. And Catherine, a little bit about her. She had both a bachelor's and master's degree. She taught in the Marana School District for 25 years. She went into the cotton fields to inform her pupils' parents of the importance of education. And that's important because she valued education, but also had to encourage folks to take part in education, and despite the hardships and how it would actually pay off. She wanted the children to attend school because education would help them get ahead in the world, and she thought her husband, Morgan Maxwell Sr., who was the first black principal at an integrated school in Arizona, and Mrs. Maxwell taught the first integrated class in the Marana School District. And her daughter, Catherine, worked for Barry Goldwater in Washington, D.C. Now, what's also important about this is that as you enter this location at the YWCA, we have a large mural, and that's dedicated also to a former Dunbar educator. And we also see that Margaret Sanger Slay was also a member of the League of Women Voters. She was the founder of the modern birth control movement. And the nonfiction writers included Margaret Sanger Slay. She was already a celebrity when she relocated to Tucson. She was widowed in 1941, and she gave herself the cause of the Planned Parenthood, and was always on the way to coming back from India or Sweden or some foreign country and traveling back and forth to Tucson. One of her sons lived in Tucson, who's a doctor. However, she was more at home here than anywhere else where she died. Some of the other folks we see up there that are important, and some of them whose pictures are not printed there, as we see Bernice Porter. Bernice Porter was a gregarious person who loved to entertain guests in Tucson, and she had land that she lived on, but she deeded it to the city. And she deeded it to the city with the condition that she be able to live on that land until she died. Her She was a widow, and her husband also um, had a large garden, and that same property today is the Tucson Botanical Gardens, from that former league member that was deeded to the city. One of the things when we look at league members is really understanding that they come from a variety of backgrounds, and we see the diversity there also. Men were also part of the original formation of the League of Women Voters. Uh, However, this was a movement and an organization that was driven by women and meant to address uh, the concerns and issues and involvement in the political system for women. We can go on to the next slide. Our 80th anniversary was held at Brandy Fenton Park, and this was an opportunity for league members as COVID was, I guess, pulling back a little bit to come together and unite. You know, being a part of the league allows you also to experience and learn the diversity of the members from the various backgrounds that they come from, be it in education, healthcare, or what have you. But it's an opportunity to also connect and move forward from a learning experience. And our next slide. This is important. Our mission. Our mission is to empower voters, defending democracy. The League of Women Voters, a nonpartisan political organization, encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major political public policy issues, and influence public policy through education and advocacy.
Thank you. Gracias. La Liga de Mujeres Votantes es una organización política no partidista. Es importante enfatizar esto, ya que fomenta la participación informada y activa de la comunidad. En el gobierno, trabaja para aumentar la comprensión de una mayor cuestión de política pública e influye a la política pública a través de la educación y la promoción.
Okay, you can go with the next slide. This is our DEI policy. Why do we have a DEI policy? DEI is important when we look at diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we also add accessibility. DEI is important because for every organization, and especially for the league, we value diversity. We also look back in history and realize the lack of diversity, the lack of efforts we may have made, and we want to be able to respect all cultures, all groups, and to allow individuals to have the opportunity to join, but also move forward as we implement diversity in our programs, in all of our committees, and use that as part of our mission in moving forward.
La Liga de Mujeres Votantes está totalmente comprometido con la diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión en el principio y en la práctica. Tiene como objetivo construir una base de participantes en la comunidad que sea representativa para cualquier identidad y en cualquier dimensión. Nuestro objetivo es ser inclusivo, afirmativo y acogedor en todas las identidades. Pretendemos asegurar que cada individuo tenga acceso a esta información y tenga la misma oportunidad de crecimiento y de contribuir y desarrollarse dentro de esta misma organización. La diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión son fundamentales para el éxito actual de esta organización.
Thank you. The next slide. The League of Women Voters, most importantly, is nonpartisan. And that's important. Nonpartisan, we neither support nor oppose any political party candidates for office or elected officials. That is critical because the League of Women Voters nationally is respected for the position of being neutral, being able to engage candidates from various political parties, and to maintain that respect. At one time, the league officiated the debates for the presidential elections, and the league was and is viewed as being a respected organization. And a lot of times when candidates are holding forums or would like to have a debate, their major concern is whether or not the person moderating it, the person or the groups who are facilitating it and putting on the program, whether or not they'll be slanted in one perspective or another that may be not in favor to them. And when you have an organization that's respected, you have an organization that's considered neutral, it becomes a magnet for officials who are seeking to be elected to be involved or to have their viewpoints sort of presented. And so the league provides that opportunity.
La Liga de Mujeres Votantes proporciona la oportunidad a la comunidad de tener una información asertiva y neutral. Es súper importante enfatizar que es una organización política no partidista y en cualquier momento o en cualquier debate o en cualquier política pública siempre se decide el poder informar a la comunidad de una manera en la que se entienda y se vuelve a enfatizar sin tener algún partidario. ¿Chaste?
So the league is political but not partisan. And again, that goes back to what I just spoke about. You know, being able to engage our community by getting folks registered to vote, getting folks involved with the political system, helping to educate folks so that they aren't threatened with the various things they may be voting on. Where, you know, I've met a lot of young folks, you know, and they've had an experience where they said, you know what, I don't want to be engaged in the political process, or, you know, it's too intimidating. I've met a lot of folks who felt, you know what, the words or what's being presented or the literature that's passed out, you know, in general, I'm confused by. So one of the things the league is able to do is create voter guides and put it in a straightforward way so people can learn about the pros and cons of what they intend on voting on or what's being discussed by the various candidates. So we're political, where we engage the community, where we get people involved, where we help to educate our community, but we aren't partisan. We aren't supporting candidates. We aren't taking a specific political perspective on one party or not. And so we're inclusive and able to bring in a variety of people to be involved and engage the community, but help to give people an opportunity to feel less threatened about the process, less intimidated about it, and to learn about it.
La Liga de Mujeres Votantes tiene como objetivo seguir informando a la comunidad y de hacerlo de una manera transparente. Es decir, si alguna comunidad está confundida con alguno de los procesos electorales, es nuestro objetivo brindar esta información y hacerlo menos intimidante, siempre con el objetivo de informar a la comunidad y poder otorgarles una información para que decidan en lo que es la política pública.
Okay, so as we move on, the League of Women Voters is a national organization, you know, based in Washington, D.C., and we have a national president. We also, in each state, have a state league that oversees the local organizations, and we have, you know, state presidents, state board of directors, and likewise, we have in various cities, local organizations. Here in Tucson, we have the League of Women Voters of Greater Tucson. And we have our officers and our board and what have you. Okay. Now, the League is a grassroots organization. And what do we mean by that? We have over 700 local leagues throughout the country. 5 in Arizona. And when we look at the state leagues, there are state leagues, 50 state leagues, and including not just within the states, but we look at Washington, D.C., the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Hong Kong also have a League of Women Voters. And that shows you the extent, the breadth, and also the diversity of the league, you know, reaching towards the national organization that oversees the states and then the local leagues.
La Liga de Mujeres Votantes es una organización que tiene presencia nacionalmente. Sí, aquí en nuestro estado se encuentran 5 ligas y hay cerca de 700 ligas alrededor de la nación. También se puede identificar que incrementó una diversidad, ya que ahora tiene presencia en Hong Kong y posiblemente se pueda hacer, posiblemente esta iniciativa de comienzo en otros países.
One of the things we were able to do last year is create a strategic plan. And with a strategic plan, what we're trying to do is to have a long-term outlook as far as what we want to accomplish as far as goals for the league and how we can move forward with that. In implementing a strategic plan, we involved board members. We also involved committee chairs and being able to come up and define efforts the direction that we really want to flow towards. So with our 3 to 5 year strategic plan, we came up with a goal of increasing public visibility. What does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? Being able to be seen, being involved in other community organizations, being recognized within the community, and making sure that our efforts are engaging communities, but also being visible. There's a lot of organizations that may exist, but are sort of invisible. People know the name, but they can't sort of connect what activities they're actually doing, or when was the last time they saw an organization involved with the community. And then increase and augment community partnerships. That's important because in order to continue forward, to be a part of a community, we need to build bridges. We need to be able to join other organizations, do projects together that are in line with our mission, and being able to be supportive. So not necessarily being an island in the community, but being inclusive and involved. Expanding youth programs. Want to be able to we created a youth program, committee, and being able to target youth to be engaged. Again, many people may have a misconception of the League of Women Voters, and one of the things we want to be able to do is to demonstrate or provide programs and education for our youth so that they are engaged and they sort of can also recognize the league and the importance of it, but to provide an avenue for them. Focus voter registration efforts in low voter turnout areas. It's important not just to conduct voter registration, but also to target specific areas where turnout may have been low in the past, and to sort of know that we're making an impact or creating an impact in areas where voter turnout may have been low. In those areas, just being there sort of highlights the importance to the residents, and their significance, to the community. And so it's a win-win in a lot of different ways. And then to energize our members, being involved with the League of Women Voters, can take a lot of energy at times, in highs and lows, depending on various times of the year. Is it an election year? Are there certain programs coming up? But to be engaged and to keep folks motivated and moving forward, that's very important. So this is our 3 to 5 year strategic plan as we move forward in making our goals and programs and our direction and using this to go forward.
Nuestro plan de estrategia dentro de los próximos 3 a 5 años Uno de los principales objetivos que tiene la organización es incrementar la visibilidad. ¿Qué quiere decir con esto? Simplemente que la comunidad tenga una mejor idea de los servicios y de la consultoría que uno puede dar para que ellos estén informados. Número 2, incrementar la colaboración con otras organizaciones de la comunidad. Esto es muy importante, ya que en el momento de colaborar con otras organizaciones se amplía la apertura de poder alcanzar a más personas. Número 3, expandir los programas a la juventud, ya que es muy importante que la juventud esté informada, porque ellos son el futuro de estas organizaciones y también del país. Número 4, enfocarnos en los esfuerzos para realizar y conducir bien las boletas en el momento de las votaciones, ya que en algunas áreas o posiblemente de la ciudad o a sus alrededores hay gente que no vota. También es un objetivo de esta organización el poder tener ese alcance para llegar para que esta información llegue a más personas en áreas rurales, etcétera. Es muy importante enfatizar el trabajo que realizan nuestros miembros en la organización, ya que es dependiendo durante el año. Hay diferentes actividades, hay momentos en los que son un poquito más hay momentos en los que posiblemente los miembros requieran realizar más esfuerzo en la comunidad. Entonces simplemente es el ver cómo esta organización va a ir avanzando en los próximos años. Gracias.
Thank you. Okay, so I will pass it to our membership chair, Kate Stewart, who will continue.
Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. I'm happy to see you all here today. I'm Kate Stewart. I'm our membership chair. Our membership committee works on a lot of different things, the most important one being welcoming new members. So I'm glad to see that we have some new members. Who's a new member? Just one? Is anybody not a member? And you're not we have some prospective members? Great. So this event is just for you. And we've tried to do some new things, some long-standing things that Judy Wood over there has been doing. Like as soon as somebody joins, we send them a welcome packet in the mail that has some of our brochures. We also have a thing we do now called League Friends. Mary Elizabeth Pollard is in charge of that, and that's where we try to match up new members with a more experienced member. It's kind of a mentorship program. That person reaches out to them when they join and welcomes them, asks them if they want to go to coffee or just talk on the phone. And it gives them, usually we try to match up people who have something in common, whether it's they live in the same part of the city or maybe they're interested in the same committee, that kind of thing. So they can ask questions. They get to, they kind of have a buddy, because we know it can be intimidating to just come to a meeting, on your own if you don't know anybody. So it's part of our, diversity mission too, is just to make sure that everybody feels welcome and feels like, league members are their friends. And we know some organizations can be cliquey, and our goal is to not be cliquey. We also have social events. We've tried to do some new things this year. Like we've done some stuff where we meet at a park and have a potluck. We've done happy hours. We've done coffee events. Next weekend, we're going to the U of A women's basketball game. I'm very excited about that. We may be going to the Gaslight Theater later this spring. So it's just a chance for members to come together. We don't do any league business. It's just, have fun, meet people, do something interesting. So, and if anybody has any ideas of great places to meet or fun things to do, let me know. I'm always looking out for those kind of things. We also keep track of membership, which is a complicated process. When people join, they join our league, they join the state league, and they join the national league. And all three of those levels need to have that same information, because we have a lot of people joining, especially in election years. So we're always trying to keep track of who's a member, make sure that they're in our system, they get our emails. And Judy Wood is great at keeping track of all that and making sure that we know what's what. Is anybody actually have? There's the next slide. I guess is the one about dues. I wanted to make sure that everybody knows about this. This is an important change that we made in the last, I believe, maybe about 2 years ago, to have a sliding scale membership. So it used to be our standard, individual membership was $75 for everyone, and that's changed now. We have these different levels. So if you want to support us a lot, you can be a sustaining member. That helps support members who don't have the financial means to pay our full membership. We also have dues waivers, so if you really can't pay it all, that's no problem. We don't want anybody's financial situation to be a barrier to joining our league and being involved. So again, it's part of our diversity mission and being more inclusive. Next slide. This may be next person. Oh yes, DEI. So Judy Wood is going to speak about this.
Gracias. Mi nombre es Kate Stewart, soy parte de la mesa directiva de la Liga de Mujeres Votantes. Como hemos mencionado antes, nuestro objetivo es seguir informando a la comunidad por medio de varias actividades, también el reclutar a nuevos miembros que puedan formar parte de la organización y poder seguir expandiendo esta palabra, expandiendo la información. Nuestro objetivo es también poder llegar a más comunidad, a más personas. Siempre son bienvenidos cualquier tipo de sugerencias para poder conocer a más personas que también estén interesadas en nuestro objetivo. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Judy Wood, and it's my pleasure to talk to you about diversity, equity, and inclusion. In 2018, the League of Women Voters of the United States decided, or almost mandated, that this become a focus of the organization. Because before that, the organization was predominantly older, white women, basically who retired and had lots of time. And they wanted the focus to represent more of the United States. So at that point, a small group of members here in Greater Tucson gathered, and we decided we would figure out what we were supposed to do, because they told us to start it, but they didn't tell us how. What we did is we decided we would learn together. And this was a diverse group where we learned from each other. And it was a very honest, courageous conversation where we talked about those issues that we faced growing up and what made us think the way we think now. It was powerful. From that small group, we grew because more people wanted to participate. We increased, and we have a book group where we read various books about diversity issues and then have discussions regarding that. One of the main things we've done in the past 12 months is had a very, very active outreach group. This outreach group goes to functions for all organizations throughout Tucson and has tables where we have our information, we interact with the organizations, we interact with the members or the participants of the organizations to share information about us and also for us to learn about them. And we have probably 3 or 4 opportunities a month to interact with other organizations, to share about voting information and those types of things. We tour various other museums and other places where we can learn about different cultures and different ethnicities. One of the biggest projects was 2 weeks ago here at the Y, where we had the National Day of Racial Healing. This was our second year to participate in this national event. It was marvelous, and I'm sure we will continue it each year and grow, because this showed us how truly diverse Tucson is. I learned so much. I didn't realize some of the populations that we have here. And it was a chance to celebrate how interesting the people in Tucson are and how we can get together. One of the things that's part of diversity is today offering translation, because this is the first time we've had a bilingual event. This is another aspect. So when you join or when you participate in the league, you are totally welcome and encouraged to participate with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you.
Mi nombre es Judith Good, soy parte del Comité de Diversidad, Equidad e Inclusión dentro de la organización. Uno de nuestros objetivos es poder seguir dando uno de nuestros objetivos principales es poder seguir proporcionando diversidad e igualdad dentro de la comunidad. Por eso intentamos involucrarnos en actividades mensualmente donde podamos alcanzar a más personas, donde podamos conocer las culturas y diferentes poblaciones dentro de la misma comunidad. Incluso hace un par de semanas tuve la oportunidad de participar en un evento en estas instalaciones de YWCA, donde era el día de can I have the name again of the event? Healing. Gracias. Tuve la oportunidad de participar en el evento del Día Nacional de Sanación. Fue una oportunidad muy importante para mí, ya que pude conocer otras comunidades dentro del mismo Tucson. Muchas gracias.
What's the next slide? Positions. Okay. And go to the next one. I think, we have. We're nonpartisan, but we do take positions on issues. And this can be a little bit confusing to kind of figure this out. Of course, when we have meetings, we don't typically talk about our personal opinions on political parties or candidates. We try to stay neutral about that, even though, of course, we all have our own opinions on those things. We all are members of parties and support candidates on our own, but for league business, we don't do that. But we do take positions on issues, and it's a long process. It's not something easy or simple. So what this means is we have positions on all kinds of topics, stuff like voting rights, abortion rights, women's rights, and these are all at different levels. But in order to get a position, we first have to study it. And this means somebody has to propose that we need a position on this issue. Something's happening in the state legislature or in Congress or at the local level, and we don't have a position on it. We can't advocate for that. So that means we can't make any public statements about it. We can't talk to our representatives about it on behalf of the league unless we have a position first. So the first step in that process is somebody has to propose that. The local group or the state group or the national group has to approve it by consensus that we are going to study it first. Then we do the study. Like right now, our state league is involved in revising our education position because we realize it's not broad enough to deal with all the things that are happening with education in Arizona. So I'm part of that group. We meet about once a month, and we go through tons of resources. We look at academic journals. We look at what's happening in the news. We have interviewed people involved in education to kind of make sure that we're getting the best information possible in order to write up our position. So we're doing all kinds of things that have to do with, diversity in education, censorship in education, LGBT rights in schools. So it's a lot. It takes a long time. There's, at least 20 of us involved in doing this study, and it's taking us a full year. Normally it takes 2 years, but we did change, at least at our state level, that we can do the study in 1 year because we realize there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed really soon. Like we can't wait 2 years to be able to advocate for some of these issues. And so once we write up that position, then we take it to the membership to approve it. Some people may think, it's not good enough. We need to do more revisions. So there's kind of a process throughout the year of, I think pretty soon we're going to start doing presentations to local leagues to get their opinions on it, if we need to make any changes before. It should be able to be approved in May when we have a statewide meeting. It's our state council meeting. And then after that, we'll be able to, advocate for those things that we have approved. So it's a little bit of a slow process. Some people don't like that it takes so long in order to do those things. That often, will come up in the news really quickly, and people want a response from the League of Women Voters. They want us to make a statement, do something about that issue. But we're a deliberative organization. We take these things really seriously. We want to make sure that whatever we put out there, that our membership is behind it and agrees that, yes, this is what we believe. Something I really like about the League, I like that it's not just this, dashed off stuff, that we're very thoughtful about the process. And so, next slide, I think we have something maybe about we don't, but I just want to be clear about each level of the League has different positions. So we have ones that the National League approves of. We have a whole book of those. It's called Impact on Issues, and it's up online. It's a PDF. Those all relate to federal issues. And then we have the state level. On the State League website, you can see our state positions that apply statewide. So our state board usually takes the lead on anything related to if they want to make a statement about something. We have a state advocacy group that tracks legislation in the state legislature and looks out for things that apply to our positions, so that we can do things like encourage our members to write to their representatives about that issue. Or sometimes some of our members speak on those issues in the legislature when they have members of the public make comments. And at the local level, we have our own positions that relate to local issues, and those are also on our website. So each of those levels, you can be involved in a study, you can be involved in advocacy and trying to make changes. So it's a great process, and I encourage you, if you're interested in it, to join our advocacy committee. It's a great committee. Okay, I think voter service is next. So this is Linda McCabe. Oh, thank you.
Don't worry, I'll do my best. Una gran parte fundamental de nosotros es poder seguir proporcionando información asertiva a la comunidad por medio de las políticas públicas. Es decir, que nosotros tenemos información en nuestra website. Muchas veces podemos obtener resultados de los estudios que hemos seguido por años estudiando, y así se puede proporcionar la información más enfocada o más informada a la comunidad. Disculpen si me fue un poco vaga en mi interpretación. También muchas veces lo que intentamos hacer es el seguir informándonos de cómo podemos dar la información más asertiva en la comunidad. Muchas gracias.
Good morning. Can you hear me? I can talk without this. I can yell across a soccer field. Okay, good morning. I'm Linda McCabe. I am the Voter Services Chair, and under this section of our league, there are many committees that work. As Victor pointed out in the history, the league was originally founded in 1920 to help women, number one, register to vote, but also to give them the pieces of information they needed to make sound and responsible decisions on their candidates and issues that were presented to them. So can we go to the next? Thank you. So as you can see, under voter services, there are many pieces. These fall under both national, state, and local, the 501c3 portion, or the tax-exempt portion, called the Education Fund. So this is separate from the other pieces of the League of Women Voters that we work in, membership, advocacy, etc. Under voter registration, this encompasses exactly can we go back? Thank you. Exactly what it says. So we have a group of volunteers that we train through the county recorder's office, and they go to events and schools and do voter registration. Our next voter registration training, for those of you that are interested, it's on Zoom. It's presented by Stephanie Moskin at the recorder's office. It will be on Thursday, February 15th from 4 to 5:30. She goes over the registration form and answers questions, which is the piece that we are talking about here, the voter registration. You must be trained before you can go out, simply because we want you to know what the forms look like and questions that you may be asked and how to respond to them.
On the website, the information you mentioned about the training is in the website. Thank you. Gracias. Parte de nuestras funciones en la Liga de Mujeres Votantes es que nosotros capacitamos a personas para que puedan dar información a la comunidad por medio de talleres. Nuestra información estará proporcionada en nuestra línea de internet, pero algunas de nuestras actividades es dar educación al votante, crear este tipo de talleres con la comunidad, darlo con cualquier persona que tengamos una colaboración en la comunidad, ya sea organización, escuelas u otras organizaciones donde podamos proporcionar ese tipo de información. Es muy importante que el enfoque de la organización ahorita es el informar a los jóvenes, ya que ellos pueden informarse y crear un impacto generacional.
The third piece is get out the vote. This year we are calling it Ready, Set, Vote 2024. And the reason that we have changed it from Get Out the Vote is because we have this phenomenal website, and here's the little bookmarks in the back. They're called Get Out the Vote. It's really readysetvote.org or .com. And on this, we have a really good person who keeps up with all the information on elections and local issues. So here you can go and you can look at exactly what's happening. We use it also as the place where we give, whether we endorse or not, propositions that people will be presented with. We give explanations about those. Also, under this, which is not listed up here, but I'll tell you about this, there is a national platform. It's called Vote 411. About 6 million people used this in the 2020 election. It is basically, it tells you about the candidates, your candidates, and the propositions and the issues that you'll be asked to vote on. So we drop that in during elections, and the chair of that particular committee, Pat Markey, is here, and she does this great job of calling candidates until they give us the information we want from them. We ask them questions and they respond to those, and then we put them up on our Vote 411 website. So our Ready, Set, Vote committee is already meeting. They've been meeting since December. We are working on not only the strategic plan of low voter precincts and registration, but advertising and publications that we will be putting out in the public for the upcoming elections, since there will be so many elections in 2024. Candidate forums. We have forums. Last year we had our forums for both the city council and the mayor. The candidates come. We ask questions from the audience. And they usually draw a pretty good crowd. I think last year we had about maybe total of over 100 people that came to the two libraries. We try to put them in different parts of the city so that people have easy access to come to the forums. Publications, we do several publications. One of our biggest ones is our elected officials directory. The new one just came out. It will be available in libraries. The county recorder's office gives it out. Last year we published 5,000 and we ran out. So this year we published 7,000 because people really want them. We put them in city council offices, the ward offices. Wherever people ask us, we take them when we go to events and hand them out. But it has all the information about all the governments and the elected officials, their addresses, phone numbers, and emails. We also publish something called Guide to Voting in Pima County, which we update every year. We also give that out for 2-page about how to vote in Pima County. Voter education. That is forums that we have. We ask speakers to come and they talk about issues that are relevant and people would be interested in. Our last one was in December where we talked about the ranked choice voting versus the Electoral College, and that was pretty fun. Non-governmental elections. We are asked to come mostly to homeowners associations and assist them in their voting for their board members. And we do ask them to contribute whatever they can to our League of Women Voters for the time that our volunteers come and help them with their election. High school voter registration. We are focusing on that because in Pima County, less than 10% of 18-year-olds are registered to vote. So that committee is very active. It goes into the high schools. It sets up in whatever fashion the high school would like to register their students to vote. So we cover a lot of areas. We also have in our libraries our little democracy corner. So we have volunteers that adopt a library and they make sure that the corner has the publications in it of for instance, the dates of elections coming up, the elected officials directory. So if you're interested in adopting a library to take care of, you can let me know that. So as you can tell, it covers many pieces of what our league does. And in this year, I'm hoping that more people will feel inspired to come and help in one of these areas that we're working in. Boy, I said a lot, huh? Do you want me to stand
No,
here?
it's good. I'll ask you. Como hemos comentado, queremos integrar a la comunidad y informar de los recursos y de los servicios que nosotros proporcionamos. Es por ello que lo que pueden ver en pantalla es alguna de las actividades de las que realizamos dentro de la comunidad. Anteriormente lo había mencionado, tenemos foros, tenemos talleres, tenemos en los mismos talleres donde proporcionamos educación, llevamos a invitados que ellos pueden proporcionar una presentación de una información, como hemos comentado, más asertiva y de una manera más fácil para que la comunidad pueda entender. También mencionamos que en nuestras bibliotecas hemos creado un espacio donde se puede dar este tipo de información. También hemos creado un espacio dentro de las escuelas de educación superior, bueno, en este caso sería preparatoria, donde se puedan, donde la juventud pueda registrarse y puede informarse de las políticas públicas y así poder tomar decisiones. If I forget something else.
Thank you. Okay, I'll make Barbara Noran is not here, but I'll go ahead and just say something about the public programs. To me, this is another area of the league that's very important and very vital because this allows the public to be engaged and be able to be educated, ask questions, get information, and learn a little bit more. And we provide public programs, and what I mean by that is we put on programs that may be held at the junior league, it may be held at one of the libraries, it may be held at another facility such here as like the YWCA, or it may be held at another area in the community. Because we want to try to reach out to other aspects or areas of the community, but allow people to attend, allow people to get more information and learn a little bit more. We've done programs in the past on ballot measures. That's important because, when the, ballot information is put out on various propositions, folks don't have, they may be a little confused, or the wording of an item may seem a little bit difficult. And this allows an explanation and question and answers to be provided and for folks to participate. We've done programs that address the environment, education, justice reform, redistricting, ranked choice voting, and those were all programs where we've been able to invite folks to be a part of a panel who have a little bit of an expertise and be able to give more information. We've done programs on reproductive choice rights and holding that at the YWCA. We've done programs on assessing housing and the insecurity and the challenges around that in the past. And so this again is one opportunity for the league to be of service to the community and provide additional information.
Una de las iniciativas que tenemos son los programas para el público. Intentamos siempre de manera transparente dar una información en donde también podemos incluir a personas que tienen un poco más de experiencia y que puedan estar en paneles dentro de algún taller o de algún foro informativo. Lo que ven en pantalla es alguno de los temas de los que podemos abordar en esos paneles. Puede ser, como hemos dicho, educación, reforma de justicia, podemos ver el proceso electoral, entre algunas otras retroalimentación o temas que la misma comunidad pida. Gracias.
Okay, thank you. I think that's the last one. Communication.
So we have a communications committee that does a lot of work making sure that all of our members are informed about what we're doing. So one of the things we do is we have a website that is very robust and has a lot of information. Linda Longlet in the back is in charge of that and updates it all the time. You know, it has our calendar. We have some news articles. We have information, you know, like links to voting information. We have stuff like our bylaws up there and some history, our org chart, all that important stuff about who we are as an organization. You can also, if you're a member, you can log into that and get all kinds of other information about, you know, certain forms you might need. You can register for events. You can join committees through the website and get in touch with, you know, we have our member directory. It's only for members. You have to log in to see it. But all of that is maintained by Linda. Judy also helps a lot with that. And then we have This Week in Greater Tucson. This is Judy Wood puts this together. It goes out every single Monday, and it's a great email newsletter that has what's coming up this week, you know, all the meetings, because we do frequently have a lot of meetings each week, and what all the committees are doing. We have, you know, what's coming up in the future that you might want to get on your calendar. And also sometimes links to other interesting things, you know, of note. And so it's super useful. Everybody looks forward to getting it on Monday and seeing what's going on. It's very succinct. And then we have the voter, which is something we've been doing probably, I think, since, you know, our leagues first started. And it's our monthly newsletter that right now we're doing more in-depth articles in the voter, and it's also emailed out, you know, usually around the first of the month. Sometimes we have a new voter editor, Shelley, who she will interview somebody, like a member each month, or we do like recaps of the programs that you might have missed. And also all of our bigger events and programs are filmed by Jeremy, and those all go up on YouTube. So look for the YouTube link on our website, and you can see we have a lot of programs that you can go back and see, like the ones that Victor was just talking about have all been filmed. They're also live streamed on our Facebook page. So we have a social media coordinator. His name is Yaz, and he puts out regular posts, you know, about interesting things about voting or, you know, our upcoming events. So if you're on Facebook, I encourage you to find us and like us, so you can. That's the easy way to see what's going on. We also use Instagram. We also use Twitter, or I guess what's known as X, although I don't think we're posting as much on that anymore. We may drop that eventually. And if you're interested in joining the communications committee, let us know, because we always need help with that. It's a lot of work to keep all that going and keep everybody informed. If you like writing and if you're creative, you know, we have people that do graphics. And please let us know. It's a great opportunity to be involved.
parte de nuestro comité de comunicación, les queremos recordar que por favor visiten nuestra liga, nuestra plataforma en internet, como ven en pantalla, es www.lwbtucson.org. Tenemos también boletín informativos todos los lunes con información, con anuncios para la comunidad. Si eres miembro de nuestra organización, recibirías otros boletines informativos con otro tipo de información más esencial. Por favor, visítenos. Dentro de otras plataformas estamos en Facebook, en Instagram, si nos pueden visitar, y ahí vamos proporcionando información más reciente y actualizada. Muchas gracias.
Okay, these are, we have a lot of committees, as you can tell, and a lot of ways to get involved. And so these are a bunch of other ones that we don't have, since I know it's already 10:30. I knew we wouldn't have a ton of time to go through these all, but I did want to point out things like Observer Corps. This is a group that watches government meetings, which now you can do at home, which is really great. So they watch things like city council, our county supervisors, some school boards, I think. So they watch those meetings from home and take some notes, and they write up a report, and those go up on our website. So if you want to know quickly kind of what's going on, it's a great way to be informed about what's happening at the local level. And also they also look out for things that apply to like our positions, things that we may want to make a statement about, or may want to encourage our members, for instance, to get in touch with your city council about a certain issue. So they're kind of a little bit like sort of watchdogs, kind of monitoring what's going on, also making sure that just observing, like how is this meeting being run? Are people being civil? Are they following open meeting laws? That kind of thing, so that we can all be aware of that. Some of the Speakers Bureau is another great group that they develop presentations on certain topics. A lot of them have to do with voting rights, national issues related to voting. People are always, kind of curious about those, and they go out to different groups and just will give a presentation about that topic. So that's something, if you're interested in that and want to develop a presentation, you can get involved in doing that. We get a lot of requests, especially during election years, to go to groups. Issues and Eggs is a great event that's coming up. It's our annual fundraiser. It's a breakfast event. This year it's going to be on the east side at the Hilton East on, I believe, March 1st. We always pick a topic and invite some speakers. And this year it's going to be on missing and murdered Indigenous people. Is that correct? And yes. So come to that event if you'd like. It's a big event with a lot of people. A lot of people across the community come, and it's always a lot of fun. Running and Winning is another fun event for high school girls that we do once a year in September, and we invite women who've been elected to local offices. They come and talk about their experience of why they decided to run, what it's like to be an elected official, and then we have girls do a mock election in the afternoon. So that's always a very fun event to be involved with. Besides our DEI book group, we have our kind of main book group. And then we have Environmental Issues, is a group that specifically focuses on learning about local environmental topics. Sometimes they do a program. They used to do a program once a year in the spring. And they've done some tours and stuff like that. We have a nominating committee that works on finding people to be on the board, which is always a very important thing. That it's a lot of work to find people to make that commitment. And technology is also an important thing that Linda Longlet is involved with. That's running the website, making sure that like our equipment. We have a lot of equipment in our office, and we need to make sure like gets here. And is being kept track of. So if you're interested in helping out Linda with the website, if you have those kind of skills, we're always looking for people to assist with that. And again, it's a great opportunity to just do something from home. You don't even have to leave your house to be involved in that committee. Okay, I think that's it, I guess, for other committees. I think we have...
Gracias. También tenemos otros comités, como se pueden dar cuenta en pantalla, de abogacía, problemáticas ambientales, comunicaciones, recaudación de fondos, club del libro, de gobierno, derechos reproductivos, tecnología, todo esto estamos abiertos a la retroalimentación de la comunidad para poder seguir proporcionando otro tipo de información. Si están ustedes interesados en saber qué estamos haciendo, por favor visítenos, como comentamos en la página de internet. Cualquier otra iniciativa o información que podamos nosotros proveer, con mucho gusto lo estaremos publicando en nuestras plataformas de internet, y es todo por el día de hoy. Muchas gracias. I said it was everything for today, but I think maybe someone more is going to speak.
This is just some quick information about our office, which is on Swan. We do have desk volunteers. It's another way to get involved. That they staff the front desk. We're open Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 12:30, and they answer the phone, do some office work. We really appreciate all of their help in doing that. And we have in our office, we have a conference room. It seats probably about 20. We don't use it too much anymore because we do a lot of stuff on Zoom, but it is a nice space, and we can do hybrid meetings there. We have a big screen, so we can do both Zoom and have people in person there. And we have a nice big storage room because we have tons of supplies that we need for all of these events, voter services, events with voter registration. So, and Judy is our office manager and keeps it very well organized and well stocked. Okay, is that it? I hope that's it. I think we do have time for questions. Wanted to make sure that we do that.
Queremos comentarles que tenemos una ubicación aquí en Tucson. Está en pantalla. Estamos abiertos de lunes a viernes de 10:30 a 12:30. Ubicados en 800 North Swan, Suite 126. Si de alguna manera, por algún motivo, la persona no puede ir presencial, tenemos método híbrido. Ahí está nuestro correo electrónico. Cualquier pregunta, duda o sugerencia, lwtucsondescat@gmail.com. Y contamos con algunos servicios, como comentamos, método híbrido, un salón donde podemos dar algún servicio, y una copiadora, y algunos servicios más que podamos dar a la comunidad, o simplemente el poder informar por medio de algo ya material. Muchas gracias.
Okay. Yes, democracy is not a spectator sport, so we're very happy that you all have joined, and we hope that you want to get involved. And questions? Answer any questions.
How many members does the league have here in Tucson?
Right now we have, I think, a little over 300, and it kind of fluctuates. Like in election years, this big election year, we know that we're going to have a lot of people join, and then in the off years, people kind of drop off, and not as interested. So we're used to that kind of fluctuation. But we do have a very large. We're one of the largest local leagues across the country, and we're very active. And it's probably because Tucson is a magnet for retirees who are very active and want to get involved doing something. That's my guess. I know that Tucson nationally has, I think, the highest rate of volunteering of any city, which is really terrific, and it's exciting that we get to be a part of that.
La pregunta fue cuántos miembros cuenta esta organización aquí en Tucson, y la respuesta fue un poco más de 300 miembros. Other question?
Linda?
I just wanted to point out for the Spanish-speaking people, up here on the right-hand side of the website where it says select language, you can select Spanish and it will change the entire website.
Queríamos recordar que, en la página de internet, en la parte superior a la derecha, si usted hace clic, puede indicar el idioma puede seleccionar el idioma del que quiere traducir la página. Es para como ven, hay una gran variedad de idiomas ahí. Le hacen clic y la página automáticamente se traduce. Thank you. Gracias.
I have a question
question. I'm Linda. Can you show the ReadySetVote.org page, perchance, just so people know what that looks like? This is the page I was telling you about. So this is why instead of Get Out the Vote, where it's Ready Set Vote 2024, it's going because it'll correspond with this website. But you can go to this, and these are what the little bookmarks are. Just to give you an idea of what's on that page.
La página que ven en pantalla, por favor, si pueden, si están interesados visitar, ya que hay mucha información de las próximas elecciones locales, acerca de cualquier pregunta que tengan de alguna forma, hasta de verificar su dirección, cualquier información que usted busque para las elecciones, para la boleta informativa, la boleta de votación, por favor visitar esta página que es readysetvotetucson.org.
One thing that we didn't talk about is in the middle it says, "Are you a new citizen?" And every other week we work with the. Oh, Victor, I think everybody can hear me. Oh, okay. One thing we didn't talk about under voter services is we work in collaboration with the county recorder's office. So every other week, for the most part, we go to the courthouse. We have volunteers that go to the courthouse and they work with the county recorder's office staff to register new citizens who have just received their naturalization papers. So we wait outside of the courthouse doors. They come out, they're brand new citizens, and we register them to vote. It's very moving, and we have very dedicated volunteers who show up to do these ceremonies. So that's what that "Are You a New Citizen" says in the middle for people who need more information as new citizens.
Es importante mencionar que tenemos un grupo de voluntarios que acuden al Tribunal Federal de aquí de Tucson y ya estos voluntarios se presentan después de las ceremonias de ciudadanía para invitar a los nuevos ciudadanos y que se registren a votar. Muchas gracias. Es muy importante mencionar eso. Thank you. Gracias.
Other questions?
I have a question for Linda. What time is the February 15th?
4 to 5:30.
Thank you.
Let's see what it is.
Okay. I'll be putting it on the website.
Yes, so the voter registration training will be on the website, and you can register on the website to be in this training, and then you receive a link to come on to the Zoom website. And then you will also receive materials prior to the training so that you'll have them in case our contact, Stephanie Matzon at the recorder's office, wants to talk about material that she has sent.
Okay. Si desean participar para dar capacitación del llenado de formas para las votaciones, habrá una capacitación el día febrero, what day? February? 15 de febrero para obtener esta registración, y si ustedes se registran van a obtener información previa para que ustedes estén un poquito ya más enterados que van a ver el día de la capacitación.
Okay, I want to thank everyone who came today and those of you who are listening. And I just want to encourage you to consider joining the League of Women Voters if you have not. Again, it's an organization that is open to all cultures, all ethnicities, and genders. And for me, my experience with the League has been a wonderful one because I came in with some trepidation many years ago, and being able to attend the meetings and also being able to have the opportunity to learn more about the political system here in Tucson, it became less threatening. But more importantly, the League gave me an opportunity to actually be involved and take action, to learn how to register voters, to also learn and assist with putting on forums and debates and what have you. So there's a wide array of areas and opportunities for folks in the community to step forward. You know, and all it takes is a little courage by joining the League or coming to one of our meetings. So please reach out to anyone in the league, and you'll find that we will be welcoming to you, and we would love you to come on board. So, come to one of our meetings, reach out, give our office a call, or email, and we welcome you. So thank you all who are here in person, and thank you for those who are listening. Oh, and thank you, Gabby.
Nada, muchas gracias. Agradecerles ese tiempo e interés para aprender acerca de cómo registrarse, de cómo obtener información y registrarse aquí en la ciudad para votar. Es súper importante comentarles que son más que bienvenidos a preguntarnos cualquier tipo de sugerencia en nuestro website. Ahí tenemos la información de contacto para poder darles una información puntual, y por supuesto si quieren ser parte de nuestra comunidad como voluntario o saber qué hacemos para que puedan registrarse con una membresía, que toda esta información está en la plataforma en internet. Por favor, visítenos. Muchas gracias quienes están aquí, quienes nos están escuchando. Muchas gracias.
Okay. And I don't want to neglect one of the more important people who are here today, because we would not have our snacks and coffee and water, and that's really important, and for me, I'm a person that I have to have breakfast in the morning or I'm not really functioning. And I want to thank Laura, who chairs the hospitality committee, because this is a beautiful array and we appreciate it and we thank you. And so, again, so thank you. And also Isabella with the YWCA, who helped to coordinate with Kate regarding this program this morning. Otherwise, this may not be happening. So thank you, Isabel Georgilas, and thank you, Abby, who provided our interpretation today. And this would not have happened if it wasn't, for the folks at the YWCA who've been able to assist and help to make this possible, and all of our league members. So thank you.